I picked up a naive girl and brought her home. She had lost her memory but was incredibly beautiful. I tricked her into believing I was her fiancé, and she actually believed it. However, after she regained her memory, I learned her true identity, a high and mighty heiress. She returned to her world without a trace of regret. 2 years later, we met again. I witnessed with my own eyes how the naive girl of the past was now stepping on others in her high heels. As I was about to leave quietly, a cold voice echoed from behind, "Fiancé, have you lost your memory too?" I met Mia Stone on the school campus. She donated a library building, and the university invited her to attend a forum. Miss Stone is so young. Why is she interested in education? Her tone was indifferent. I hope that those who want to learn can have books to read. Is this wish related to your past? Mia Stone remained silent. 3 years ago, she lost her memory and was abandoned in a poor rural area, experiencing the hardest years of her life. No one knew about it. I sat under the stage, watching her from afar. Mia Stone now was elegant and radiant, with a cold demeanor. And I was just a student who had just applied for a poverty subsidy. The distance between us was less than 100 meters, but it felt like an insurmountable chasm. My roommate sighed with infatuation, "So beautiful, worthy of being my wife." Another echoed, "Mine is more like wife." In the online world of the wealthy, there is no shortage of handsome men and beautiful women, but someone who can overwhelm the entertainment industry like Mia Stone is rare. Everyone jokingly calls her wife. Speaking of which, have you guys heard about my wife's disappearance 3 years ago? Someone suddenly asked. I heard she went abroad to study, not disappeared. Someone suddenly called me, "Jack, have you heard anything?" I shook my head, confused. It said she was finally found in the northwest countryside. "Jack, you're from the northwest. Don't you have any information?" I wasn't good at lying. Fortunately, the dim lights in the auditorium concealed the awkwardness in my eyes. 3 years ago, not only was Mia Stone in the northwest countryside, but she was also in my home, eating and living with me for over a year. There were nights I held her in my arms, sleeping on the same bed. These secrets could only be buried deep in my heart. The forum came to the Q&A session. A student raised his hand to ask, "Miss Stone, it's said that you have a fiancé and even tattooed his name on your body. Is that true?" The human instinct for gossip surged, and the atmosphere instantly heated up. This is not related to today's topic. The one who spoke was Leo North, who was sitting next to Mia Stone, also a guest today. He was her capable assistant, rumored to be her childhood sweetheart, with close family ties. "That's right." Mia Stone proactively answered, "The tattoo is on my wrist." She pulled up her sleeve, revealing a small symbol on her fair skin. The whole auditorium erupted. Leo North was sitting right next to her. Who else could this North symbol refer to? He also blushed and bowed his head, as if tacitly acknowledging it. Very well matched, a perfect couple. I had no emotion, only wanting to quickly return to the dorm to do my homework. On the way, passing through the backstage of the auditorium, the student union president called me back. "Jack, you've come at the right time. Can you help me bring a coat to the guest? I have a terrible stomachache. I can't take it anymore." Her face was pale, clutching her stomach, looking like she wasn't faking. When I applied for the subsidy, she had helped me a lot. I had no reason to refuse. But the guests had already left. At this moment, Mia Stone was striding towards the backstage. I wanted to avoid her, but it was too late. She tilted her head and immediately saw me. Mia Stone's eyes lingered on me for a second. If I ran away now, it would be too suspicious. I resolutely stood still, lucky that I was wearing a mask. Mia Stone frowned. "You are also a student of this university?" I nodded. She lifted her foot, intending to walk towards me. "What's your name?" "Jack." I only managed to say one word before Mia Stone was pulled away by Leo North. "Let's go, it's too cold here." She was pulled away. When she turned her head to chase after me, I was no longer there. But in fact, I hadn't gone far. Their last words reached my ears. "Don't look anymore. They are Lynn. Not him, just look similar. And even if it was him, so what? He took advantage of you to swindle a large sum of money." I lowered my head, my fingers trembling slightly. He was right. I was indeed greedy and unscrupulous, betraying Mia Stone. I wasn't originally Jack Lynn. My original name was Jack Wong, from a poor village in the northwest countryside. How poor? When I was little, my family couldn't afford rice. My mother had to pick up the discarded noodle scraps that people threw away, press them into blocks, and cook them for the whole family to eat. When I was 17 years old, a heavy snow fell. When the snow blocked the road into the village, I met Mia Stone at the entrance of the village. She sat there, her eyes dazed. I stepped forward and asked her name. She couldn't even speak, only stammering simple sounds. A mentally unsound person. I turned to leave, but she grabbed my hand, her pleading eyes weakly uttering, "Cold." In this weather, if she was left outside overnight, she would surely freeze to death. In my village, people died from the cold every year. Drunkards who fell asleep in the snow. Their bodies were frozen solid as ice the next morning. Truthfully, I didn't want to get involved, but I couldn't ignore a life. So, I took her home. At that time, I didn't expect that our relationship would last so long. She looked a few years older than me, so I called her Sister Stone. She had no identification on her, as blank as if her identity had been deliberately erased. I took her to find her relatives, knocking on the doors of every agency, but there was no clue. This was not surprising. In small rural areas like this, everyone understood the unspoken rules. Public officials were all connections, just going through the motions. Who would truly help? They just told us to go home and wait for notification. And so, a year passed, and the naive girl stayed in my home. In truth, I also had selfish motives. My mother suffered from a condition where her memory would come and go. Later, when I went to university, I learned that the disease was called Alzheimer's, incurable. Every day I took care of my mother, studied, and worked part-time to earn money. After Mia Stone came, at least I didn't need to work part-time anymore. She was young. Doing manual labor was not a problem, but she was very strange. At first, she couldn't do anything right, clumsy, always complaining of fatigue. Seeing her only eat and not earn anything, I got annoyed. "If you continue like this, I don't need you anymore." Mia Stone immediately panicked. "Jack, you can't abandon me. I am your wife." Right? I had tricked her, saying that since she had eaten my family's food, she would have to marry me later. It was a harmless lie, because this naive girl was too eye-catching, attracting a bunch of matchmakers to my door. In poor rural areas, people married very early. Engagement in teenage years was normal. When I said I didn't need her anymore, she was so flustered she was about to cry, clearly possessing an arrogant and elegant appearance, yet looking at me with pleading eyes. From then on, she started working harder, no longer as useless as before. But gradually, she revealed another unusual side. Once, I was bullied, and the boys around just stood watching and laughing at me. At that time, Mia Stone was standing in front of the school gate waiting for me to get out of school. She saw this scene and immediately rushed over, punching one guy to the ground. She fought very brutally. Every blow aimed at vital spots, as fierce as a rabid beast. No one could stop her. In that moment, she was so strange that it made me shudder. I hurriedly grabbed her arm. "Sister Stone, don't fight anymore." She immediately stopped, obediently letting me pull her away. "Jack says don't fight. Then don't fight." The boy was injured all over, covered in bruises. His parents came to my house, demanding compensation for medical expenses. My family, already not well off, fell into even more poverty. That night, Mia Stone seemed to know she had caused trouble, just quietly sitting huddled in a corner. When I came to comfort her, I discovered her face was full of tears. "Sorry, Jack. I know I was wrong. I won't cause trouble anymore in the future. Please don't abandon me." She sobbed like a little kitten, softening my heart. I coaxed her. "Then be good in the future, okay? I only need a wife who is obedient." The next day, Mia Stone brought back a stack of money. She said she had sold her watch. I was shocked. "How could you sell it?" "Based on that watch, we might be able to find your family." She smiled brightly under the sunlight. "My family is you. I won't go anywhere. I only want to be with you." This naive girl must have been deceived. That watch looked very expensive. How could it only be exchanged for this little money? But Mia Stone didn't care. She became extremely obedient, only listening to me. It's just that afterwards, the boy who was beaten started having continuous misfortunes. His shoes were stuffed with nails, bugs appeared in his clothes, coarse sand mixed with gravel, his bicycle tires punctured, and he fell into the river. I felt strange, turning to look at Mia Stone. She just smiled innocently, looking at me with clear eyes. Thinking back, the signs of her abnormality had already appeared back then. She once corrected my English pronunciation. I asked, "Have you studied English?" She paused. "I don't know." "Have I studied?" Even though her memory was lost, her language instinct remained. My mother once said, "Perhaps little Stone comes from a big city." I happily replied, "That's great. I also want to get into a university in a big city in the future." My mother just remained silent, not daring to say anything, because she knew that if she really came from the city, there would never be a future between me and her. The gap between us was too big. The day I took the college entrance exam, it rained heavily. My old house couldn't withstand it, leaking everywhere. My small bed was unsleepable. I could only spread a mattress on the floor to sleep with Mia Stone. We lay close to each other, our breaths intertwined. "Can't sleep." She suddenly asked, "What if you fail the exam?" I immediately replied, "I won't fail. I heard that students in the city are very good. Teachers are also good. No matter how hard I try, it's hard to catch up with them." Mia Stone asked, "Jack, where do you want to go to university?" "Let me think a bit." "Beijing. I want to go to the capital, to see Tiananmen." "Don't laugh. Every rural child has such a dream." She softly said, "Then let's go to Beijing together." "And bring Mom along?" I chuckled. "Little Stone, what if I fail the exam?" Mia Stone seriously replied, "Then I will take you there." Her tone was so firm that my heart suddenly trembled. For the first time in my life, I understood what it was to be moved. I was extremely lucky because she was my fiancé. I reached out and hugged her, feeling the warmth of her body. Mia Stone stiffened for a moment, but then gently hugged me back. We just quietly hugged each other, not doing anything, but it seemed we had given each other so much. Now, recalling that night, I realized I had been blinded by sweetness. Because of this, I didn't notice Mia Stone's strangeness. She was no longer naive. Every sentence she spoke was sharp, containing a terrifying shrewdness. Her eyes in the darkness glittered with a sharp light, a light that belonged to herself. Memory ends. I took the coat from the backstage room, but didn't rush to leave, hesitatingly standing still. In the guest lounge, Mia Stone was angry. Something seemed to have just happened. I peeked through the crack of the door, only seeing her stepping in high heels on someone's hand, her tone cold and sharp. "Trash." I was stunned. Was this really Mia Stone? Was she the girl who chased after me saying she wanted to be with me for life? Was she the girl who sobbed in the corner because she caused me trouble? Or perhaps this was her true self. After entering university in Beijing, I started reading economic newspapers, and from there, I learned Mia Stone's true identity. She was 8 years older than me, the second young lady of the Stone group, seemingly an illegitimate child, but that didn't diminish her value at all. She was not yet 30, but already incredibly ruthless and decisive. A year ago, she personally drove her older sister crazy, becoming the sole heir of the Stone family. Just reading through the newspapers, I couldn't imagine Mia Stone's ruthless face. But today, witnessing it with my own eyes, I felt both familiar and strange. Or should I just leave the coat at the door and leave? While I was still hesitating, the door suddenly opened. "Who's outside?" Mia Stone walked out, her face expressionless, cold light reflected off her glasses. At that moment, I didn't know why, but I instinctively shivered. "It's okay, I'm wearing a mask and a hat too." Lowering my head, who would recognize who? I regained my composure, just about to say, "Mr. North, this is your coat," when a classmate passing by backstage called me. "Jack, haven't you gone back to the dorm yet?" He called my name. In that instant, Mia Stone suddenly tightened her grip on my wrist. Her strength was very strong. "What's your name?" She stared at me, without saying anything else, just reaching out to pull my mask down. Just then, I saw my savior. I spoke up, calling to the other person, "Jack, you're here?" Mia Stone paused, loosening her hand. She looked at me, then at the classmate I called. I continued, "The publicity department is looking for you." The classmate was dumbfounded. "Oh, really? Let me go find them." I quickly seized the opportunity, put the coat down, and walked away with him. Coincidentally, his name was also Jack. Leaving the auditorium, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. The classmate curiously asked, "What did you just say to CEO Stone?" "Just helping her carry things." "Really? Why do I feel like there's something very strange between you two?" "Strange in what way?" "It's just that she looked very fierce, like she wanted to eat you alive." He was right. Mia Stone wanted to eat me alive, and the reason for that traced back to the summer of my 18th birthday. The day the college entrance exam results came out, an uninvited guest suddenly appeared in the village, Leo North. He wore a vest, shiny leather shoes, and introduced himself as Mia Stone's friend, here to take her away. My mother had just heard and exclaimed, "So this girl is not only from a big city, but also a young lady from a wealthy family." I also vaguely heard that the reason she drifted here was very complicated. Harmed by her older sister, suffered an accident, luckily survived but lost her memory. I could only sigh. The wealthy are really complicated. At first, I treated Leo North as a guest, but when I learned that his name also contained the character North, I froze. In my village, everyone called me Jack. My mother too. Only Mia Stone called me North. At first, I felt strange. Now I understood. Mia Stone calling me that, in fact, was calling someone else? She treated me well, listened to me. Was also just because she saw me as Leo North? I looked at Leo North. He was indeed very handsome, wearing a vest and leather shoes, standing next to Mia Stone. They really looked like they were from the same world. Then I looked back at myself. The patches on my knees, the pants I was wearing, looked so ridiculous. But I was unwilling. When Leo North was about to take Mia Stone away, I asked her, "Are you willing?" He crossed his arms, looked down at me from above. She is the second young lady of the Stone Group, with billions of assets to inherit. You don't think she would stay in this place to suffer with you, do you? I didn't believe it. I wanted to hear her say it to me directly. Leo North sneered. Come on, she has regained her memory. She doesn't even want to see you. I heard you tricked her into marriage. You were quite cunning, kid. I gritted my teeth. I want to see her. Leo North slightly smirked. Okay, if you insist on hearing it. He took out his phone, played a recording. A familiar voice rang out. North, luckily you arrived in time. I almost got tricked. A gentle, pleasant voice. It's Mia Stone. Unmistakable. Leo North turned off the recording, raised his eyebrows at me. Heard clearly? I'm taking her away now. Then he stuffed a thick stack of money into my hand. You understand the rules. I really didn't want to accept this money. But my mother was seriously ill, needing money for treatment. Mia Stone had abandoned me. I couldn't lose my mother too. I was disappointed. But very quickly, I calmed down, weighed the pros and cons. Then let Mia Stone help me one last time. Is this all? I said, too little. You guys are not sincere at all. Leo North seemed surprised to hear me say that. Turns out you're not a simple kid. You kept her, just waiting for this day. Now are you satisfied? How despicable. Knowing I'm despicable, then quickly add more money to shut my mouth. Leo North choked, speechless. In the end, I received a large sum of money, all used to treat my mother, but still couldn't keep her. The day I received the university admission letter, my mother was so happy that tears streamed down her face. That was the last time I saw her smile, also the last time I saw her cry. She held my hand, her voice trembling. Jack, you must study hard. See Tiananmen and the Great Wall for Mom. Mom has been a rural woman all her life, unable to give you a good life. Don't blame Mom. How could I blame her? She had tried her best to give me everything she could. I was very content, very happy. I loved my mother. Afterwards, I went to Beijing, saw Tiananmen and the Great Wall. I changed my surname, becoming Jacqueline. The name Mia Stone gradually faded from my memory. Only occasionally, when walking on prosperous streets, I would suddenly remember, this is where she grew up, the familiar scenery of her. But so what? We would never meet again. The words I told myself were quickly broken, however, not completely shattered. I quickly threw Mia Stone out of my mind, continued my life. In a student union meeting, the president said, last time CEO Stone left, she took everyone's resume. My heart suddenly sank. Resume? I didn't know what she wanted to do with it. I knew that the resume not only had name and photo, but also hometown. In front of her, I was no different from a transparent piece of paper. But then I comforted myself. Currently, Mia Stone has everything. Why bother with a poor student like me? The meeting ended. Everyone left the office one after another. Suddenly, a classmate in front stopped, his face blank. I asked, "What's wrong?" He stammered, "Oh." I looked up. Mia Stone was standing leaning against the corridor. I immediately turned around and ran away. But she spoke up, Jacqueline. She called my name correctly. Long time no see. Mia Stone took me to a restaurant, casually ordering a dish that was already equivalent to my monthly living expenses. She didn't eat, just watched me. I also wasn't polite. Couldn't escape, then just go with the flow. Eat my fill, then think about it. Not knowing how long had passed, Mia Stone suddenly opened her mouth. Why are you hiding from me? This was her first question after our reunion. I bit into a crab, smiled faintly. Miss Stone is joking. I'm just a poor student. You are the heir of a corporation. We have no connection at all. No connection? Her voice was cold and distant. This was her true self. This restaurant was one of the most luxurious places. I didn't know anyone who came here. I didn't understand what she meant, just quietly waited. I brought you here. Everyone has seen it. She looked straight at me, every word sharp. Very soon, someone will investigate you, and someone will be curious about the relationship between us. Even if you want to hide, you can't hide anymore. I wasn't afraid. On the contrary, I laughed. The first time eating such delicious crab, it was worth it. Mia Stone raised her wine glass, silently looking at me. She under the crystal lights looked so perfect, almost unreal. She said, "You don't like money? Sleep with me for one night. I'll give you money." Portia whizzed, tires rubbing against the road to the point of almost catching fire. The driver was Mia Stone, her eyes bloodshot. I recalled half an hour ago in the restaurant. She looked at me coldly, uttered word by word. "Sleep with me for one night." I smiled. "Has your boyfriend heard about this?" She replied succinctly, "I don't have a boyfriend." "What about Leo North?" "He's just my assistant." I chuckled, seeing them like they were about to get married. Mia Stone stiffened, her tone slightly unnatural. "Don't talk nonsense. I never talked to you like this before." Our eyes met. Her momentum gradually weakened. "My point is, there is no relationship between me and him, let alone marriage." "Really? Then you're really bad." I smiled faintly. "Because you always let others misunderstand." As I spoke, I spat out a crab shell, accidentally flying onto Mia Stone's face. She was stunned, not immediately wiping it off. I just felt this was ridiculous, not worth bothering about. If everything has to be explained, then I wouldn't be able to do anything else all day. Speaking of this, she suddenly stopped, seeming to realize something. Right, she was trying to explain to me. A person like Mia Stone, who held power, always did as she pleased. Why would she need to explain so much? I nodded in agreement. "You're right, a person like you. Luckily, I didn't take you seriously. 200 million to sell you off, really worth it." Mia Stone's face instantly turned pale. This sentence had hit her weak spot. I chuckled. "So, are we still continuing tonight's business?" Before I could react, I was angrily pushed into the Porsche by Mia Stone. A journey that originally took an hour, she only drove in 30 minutes. In the dark villa, without turning on the lights, as soon as I entered, I was pinned against the shoe cabinet by her, pulling my collar down, biting hard on my collarbone, rushed and impatient. I didn't resist, just calmly said, "I want to go to the CEO's office." Mia Stone froze. I repeated, "I want to intern in the CEO's office of the Stone Group." This was a position that only students with background could step into. Even if I tried my whole life, I might not get this opportunity. I don't need money. I need this opportunity. Many students squeeze to get into Stone Group. I was no exception. Mia Stone slowly let go. "Are you serious?" "Of course." I smiled faintly. "I want to learn more skills so that after graduation, I can find a high-paying job." Bang! Mia Stone angrily smashed the vase placed at the door. Blood flowed from her hand, but she didn't react, just looked at me with almost desperate eyes. "Between us, only exploitation is left? If not, then what?" I calmly replied, "You still have another choice." Mia Stone gritted her teeth, coaxing me. "Come back to me. Anything you want, I can give you, okay?" I resolutely refused. "That's too much trouble. I don't need your heart, nor do I need your feelings. Love is worthless." Mia Stone almost gritted her teeth. "Jack Wong, do you even have a heart?" "It's Jacqueline," I calmly reminded. "I follow my mother's surname now." She laughed coldly. "Oh right, your mother passed away 2 years ago, right after I left." "That's right." I looked at her, a smile still on the corner of my lips. "I am an orphan, not worthy of having a heart. Do you know how I spent that time? A month after you left, my mother also left this world. I couldn't keep anyone, couldn't keep my mother, nor could I keep you." My voice was still gentle, but the atmosphere had gradually become tense. "I accepted Leo North's money. That's right, because I didn't have money to treat my mother anymore. You are so rich, but also abandoned me. What else could I do?" Every word I said, the room became quieter. Blood dripped from Mia Stone's hand onto the floor. "In Beijing, I live alone. If I slack off a little, I might not have food to eat. Mia Stone, I am trying my best to survive." She asked me again, "Do you have a heart? Do you have a heart?" The one who asked this question. Her face became paler and paler, her eyes red and swollen, as if about to bleed. I thought she would be furious, just like how she had stepped on someone's hand and sneered, but I waited and waited. Her anger didn't come. On the contrary, she lowered her head, her voice hoarse. "Whatever you want, I can give you. Jack, be with me, okay?" I refused very decisively. "No, I don't like you. I only had a short moment of infatuation when I was 18 years old. Perhaps because of my poor family, I understood from a young age one thing. Don't dream of things that don't belong to you." The day she left, I was indeed sad. But very quickly, I accepted the reality. Now, she comes to me again, wants me to come back. How strange. Could it be because she is tired of those rich men and wants to change her taste? But that's not important. I am very clear, we belong to two different worlds. I just need to focus on my own path ahead. Finally, Mia Stone let go, letting me leave. The next day, I received an internship invitation from the Stone Group. I was so busy that I was in a whirl, seizing every opportunity to learn. Friday night, 12 o'clock late, I finally finished work. Colleagues lay sprawled on the table, browsing their phones. Suddenly someone exclaimed, "Our CEO Stone is trending on Hot Search." Another person raised their head excitedly asking, "What news?" "Seems like her fiancé isn't CEO North. The Melon Eaters are here again." Everyone was excited. I silently tidied up the documents beside me, occasionally glancing at my phone. On the news, Mia Stone announced, "My fiancé is not CEO North. Please don't misunderstand." But besides Leo North, who else could it be? Everyone started discussing heatedly. If not CEO North, then who is worthy of her? I heard that her fiancé is a student, inconvenient to disclose. The whole office erupted. A student? Who has such great ability? My colleague Lily patted my shoulder. "Look, also a student, but someone has become the fiancé of the CEO. I am." I smiled, not answering. Another sighed. "Really too amazing." Suddenly someone exclaimed, "CEO North also posted on Moments." Everyone immediately opened their phones to see. Leo North only wrote one sentence, "I originally offered my heart to the bright moon, who knew the bright moon would shine on the gutter." Clearly the bright moon in the poem was Mia Stone. And the gutter? Could it be me? I slightly twitched the corner of my mouth. I need to finish the rest of the work, then go home and sleep. Just walking out of the company, I saw a woman standing there, holding a bouquet of roses in her hand. I immediately had a headache. Her name was Rose. Before, when I worked part-time at the tea shop, she had been me for a while. I refused many times, but she still wouldn't give up. Today, she even chased me here. Rose looked at herself in a small mirror, then showed a smile that she thought was charming. "Little Lynn, sister came to pick you up from work." I frowned. "If you continue to harass me, I will call the police." "Don't be so heartless." She chuckled. "Sister has money. Wouldn't it be good if you loved sister?" I was too lazy to pay attention to her flaunting. Being ignored, Rose's face changed. This kind of person usually has high self-esteem, but very impatient. "Jacqueline, don't get too big for your britches. If I just beckon, there will be no shortage of young and handsome men like you kneeling down to beg me." I smiled faintly. "Don't you have a mirror? Or go pee and look at your face." She was provoked, immediately raising her hand to get physical. "Kid, you're too arrogant. Don't know if you're still so arrogant in bed." From the corner of my eye, I glimpsed a familiar figure walking out of the building. It was Mia Stone. She stood there, cold and arrogant. But before she could take action, I forcefully pushed Rose away, conveniently throwing the whole cup of water over her head. "Get lost. If I see you again, I will really hit you." Mia Stone stood in place, seemingly a bit surprised. Did she think I would wait for her to help? Thinking too much. I have long stopped dreaming about that. Rose, pushed hard by me, lost all face. She cursed loudly, intending to pounce again, but before she could move, Mia Stone kicked her, causing her to fall to the ground. She coldly stepped her high heel on Rose's hand. Just like the other day. Rose screamed in pain. "I'm calling the police." "You wait, call it." Mia Stone sneered. "If you have the guts, then call it." Rose's eyes fell on the watch on her wrist. Her face instantly changed. I was wrong. "I didn't know he was your person. I guarantee I won't dare to pester again." I originally intended to leave, but hearing this sentence, I wasn't happy at all. I'm not her person. I am myself, not belonging to anyone. Mia Stone glanced at me, said nothing. In the end, Rose cried in pain before being let go. The commotion ended. Mia Stone wanted to take me home, but the car wasn't going in the direction of the school. I reminded her, "You're going the wrong way. At this hour, going back to school is fine. My dorm doesn't need you to manage." She glanced at me through the rearview mirror. "Haven't seen you in a few years. You've become tougher, huh? Also learned the trick of stepping on people's hands." I ignored her. She continued, "Is work going smoothly? If there's anything unhappy, you can tell me." I smiled faintly. "Telling you? Then you will help me go through the back door?" "I will," she answered decisively. I chuckled. "Mia Stone, are you addicted to being taken advantage of by me?" "That's right." She didn't hesitate at all, said a light sentence. "I've thought it through. As long as it's beneficial to you, I'm also happy." Mia Stone took me back to the villa, saying she would take me back to school tomorrow morning. Last time I came here, the lights were not on. Today the lights were brightly lit. I realized this place was really cold, not like a home at all. She took out a medicine box. I was wary. "What are you doing?" "Bandaging your hand." "Don't think I didn't see it." I was slightly startled. Indeed, my hand had a burn mark from pouring hot water for customers this morning. But because I didn't want to affect work, I had endured the pain all day. How did she notice? Mia Stone gently held my hand. "You can't hide anything from me, Jack. In front of me, you can take off all disguises." I was stunned. A person as cold and arrogant as her, yet when helping me apply medicine, was so careful and gentle. She suddenly asked, "Do you remember? The first day you did farm work, your hand was also injured." I nodded, seemed to have some impression at that time. "I also bandaged you like this." I was silent, my eyes unconsciously scanning the room. Suddenly, I saw a photo. It was a photo of my mother and Mia Stone. It was the 4th month since she came to my house. At that time, someone from the town brought a camera to the village. My mother asked that person to take a photo of the three of us. I still remember that day. My mother treasured that photo for a long time, unwilling to let go. In the photo, she smiled radiantly, hugging us both. We at that time were like a family, an ordinary day as a family of 3. But I knew that we would never be able to return to those days again. I missed my mother. Tears involuntarily welled up, but I tried to swallow them back. Wait, why does Mia Stone have this photo? I suddenly realized something was wrong. This photo, I opened my mouth to ask, isn't it still in the old house? Mia Stone calmly replied, "Later I went back to find you, conveniently brought it along. I keep the person, you look for me." After returning to Beijing, I spent a month arranging everything, then went back to find you. But at that time, your home was empty. She called that place home, also regarded that place as her home. Neighbors said your mother had passed away, and you had left the village right after handling the funeral. I choked. You were looking for me for what?" Mia Stone looked at me strangely. "Of course to bring you to Beijing." I laughed bitterly. "But aren't you angry with me?" "That's right. I am very angry." She gritted her teeth. "Angry that you were willing to abandon me just for 200 million. Speaking of this," she sighed, her tone as if accepting fate. "But even if I'm angry, you are still my husband." I immediately retorted, "Who is your husband? The day you left, you didn't have a trace of nostalgia, not even willing to meet me once." She was silent, then chuckled. "It's not that I didn't want to see you. Actually, at that time, I had also just lost a loved one. The day Leo and North came to take her away. But few people knew that at that time, Mia Stone's grandfather was dying in the emergency room. She was an illegitimate child, from childhood never been loved. Chairman Stone, her biological father, brought her home not because of family affection, but just to pressure his eldest daughter. If you don't try harder, everything will belong to your younger sister. If you don't achieve anything, the company will be handed over to your younger sister. She was just a tool to stimulate her older sister, but in the end, she didn't receive anything in return, but had to bear the anger of her older sister and the legitimate wife. But also can't blame anyone. Who told her to be an illegitimate child? Clearly her father cheated, yet she was the one who had to bear the consequences. If she could choose, she would rather she had never been born. In the past 2 years, her talent started to emerge. Her older sister couldn't suppress her anymore. In front of her, her older sister was so stupid that she was beyond saving. So, 3 years ago, the dog blood drama of the wealthy family was staged. Older sister set a trap to harm younger sister, but younger sister didn't die, only hit her head, lost her memory, and was thrown into a desolate mountain in the northwest. Left to live or die. When someone asked, the answer was simple. She went mountain climbing and exploring on her own, got lost, serves her right. Just as her older sister had predicted, An illegitimate child had no value at all. Chairman Stone only sent people to search perfunctorily, then gave up. The only person who truly cared about her was her grandfather. When he heard the news of her disappearance, the old man fell ill. During that time, he had asked all of her confidants, including Leo North, to secretly continue searching. But old and weak, the old man didn't have much time left. Mia Stone rushed back to Beijing precisely because she wanted to see him one last time. Jack, she softly called my name. I had already planned it out. Wait until I've arranged everything properly. I will bring you and your mother here. From small to large, I have never had a real sense of family. But I had two people. You and your mother are my family. Speaking of this, her eyes were already watery. I knew what she was crying for. She also missed my mother. In the past, when her mind wasn't clear, she had been bullied. It was my mother who gently comforted her, stood up to protect her. I softly sighed, finally asking the question that had been lingering in my heart for so long. Why did you call me North? North? Was it because of Leo North? She looked at me in surprise. Why would you think that? I and him have no relationship at all. She seriously explained. I called you North, because the first time we met, you introduced yourself that way. I only remembered the North character. As for Leo North, she shook her head. I and him are just colleagues. I have never called him that. That title is too intimate. If I ever used it, I would only use it to call subordinates. I recalled everything that had happened in the past, then suddenly thought of one thing. I frowned. Leo North once played me a recording. In it, you said you almost got tricked. Mia Stone slightly frowned, seeming to be trying to recall. After a while, she slowly said, You were tricked? I was talking about my assistant. He was originally my confidant, but in fact colluded with my older sister to trick me. I was silent. So, Leo North had deliberately cut and cropped her words, causing me to misunderstand. And she, because she was too rushed to return to Beijing to see her grandfather, couldn't explain in time. We just missed each other like that. I quietly looked at her. Suddenly remembering something, I asked, What is your tattoo? She pulled up her sleeve, revealing the tattoo on her wrist, still always my name. She looked at me, her eyes sincere and firm, then softly said, Jacqueline, I like you. From that night you took the college entrance exam that year. I decided I would be with you forever. That night, after the college entrance exam ended, Mia Stone slightly curved her lips, smiled gently, uttered a sentence full of secrets. It turned out she had regained her memory long ago. She knew who she was, knew her own identity, but she didn't want to wake up. She wanted to continue being my sister Stone, wanted to continue being with me and my mother. If it wasn't because Leo North came to the door, reporting that her grandfather didn't have much time left, perhaps she wouldn't have left in such a hurry. All these things, originally she wanted to explain clearly to me, but I had disappeared without a trace, so she had no chance to say anything. Over the past 2 years, she had been searching for me, but she didn't know I had changed my surname to Lin, so she couldn't find me. We reunited for less than half a month, all misunderstandings were clarified. Even so, I still refused her proposal to get back together. No reason at all, simply because career and study were more important than love. I continued my life, still going to school as usual. One day, I heard news that Mia Stone and Leo North had broken off relations. Turns out they weren't childhood sweethearts at all, nor was there any story of two families being generations of acquaintances. All were just articles from online accounts, spreading rumors to gain views. Leo North was just one of her assistants. Because he followed her for many years and was relatively loyal, after she was harmed, he was kept by her side. Also because of this, he quickly rose in rank, becoming her right-hand man. But he made a fatal mistake, interfering in his superior's private life. A month later, Leo North left the group. Someone asked me, why didn't she take revenge on him? I smiled faintly. Not necessary, really not necessary. Looking forward is much more interesting. A few months later, the matter of Mia Stone pursuing me was revealed in the company. The reason stemmed from an unexpected incident. That day, I went to meet clients with my boss. The client was a wealthy middle-aged lady, but extremely liked to harass young employees. This time, unfortunately, I became the target. She not only made flirtatious remarks, but also took indecent actions. Because the other party was a client, I could only try to avoid her. Mia Stone happened to pass by, witnessed everything. She rushed in, grabbed the middle-aged lady's hair, dragged her out. She took action without any mercy. The middle-aged lady couldn't take it, screamed shrilly. Worried about affecting the company's image, I hurriedly ran over, hugged her waist tightly. Don't hit anymore. Mia Stone's anger instantly subsided. She withdrew her hand, looked at me, smiled gently. Okay, I'll listen to you. In that moment, the entire company was stunned. Everyone knew that the second young lady of the Stone family was cold and ruthless, yet she had such a gentle side. From then on, no one in the group didn't know my name. Coincidentally, my name contained the character North. Even more coincidentally, I was a student. Everything, no need to say, was self-evident. Afterwards, I asked her, "Why do you like to hit people so much?" She shrugged. "I don't like to hit people. But some things that the law can't intervene in, then can only use fists. I don't allow my employees to be harassed, even if that person is a client." I quietly looked at her for a long time, suddenly chuckled. "You not playing the fool is also quite good." Mia Stone smiled faintly. "Of course, the internship is about to end. I already have plans for my future." I pointed to the vast map of the Northwest region in front of me. After graduation, I want to return to my hometown to do poverty alleviation work. Mia Stone immediately said, "I will go with you. The Stone Group has projects that can be brought there. I will also donate some school buildings and books for the children there." I was startled. "Wait, so you donating the library to my university was also because of me?" "Nonsense." She leaned her head on my shoulder, her tone gentle. "I will forever remember the image of you sitting in the darkness, focused on reading under the light." In that moment, I knew for the first time what it was to be moved. During the internship, I grew rapidly. Half a year passed. The internship ended. The department decided to organize an outdoor team building. The Stone Group was generous with spending, especially when they heard it was my farewell party. The leadership approved a large sum to organize it. That winter, the department head proposed going snow mountain climbing. Mia Stone also went along. Now everyone in the company was used to it. Wherever I was, she was there. The snow mountain was very beautiful. But then an accident happened. In the evening, everyone gathered in the homestay to cook. Suddenly someone asked, "Hasn't CEO Stone returned yet?" Mia Stone had gone out at noon, hadn't returned yet. Outside the window, snowflakes began to quietly fall. A sense of unease rose in my heart. Once the snow fell heavily, the mountain would be closed off. Where did she go? Was she safe? We immediately divided into groups to search. I and several colleagues searched for half an hour, but still couldn't see Mia Stone's shadow anywhere. The signal in the mountains was very weak. Phones couldn't connect. The sun gradually set behind the mountain range. Finally, a villager pointed the way for me. "This afternoon, I saw a very beautiful girl go into this path." I hurriedly ran towards the entrance to the forest. From afar, I saw her figure. She was sitting on the snow, covered in white. This scene overlapped with the memory of 3 years ago. The first day I met her, she was also sitting in the midst of snow and fog like this. In that moment, I almost thought something had happened to her. "Mia Stone." I shouted loudly, but my voice was swallowed by the wind and snow. She didn't move. My heart tightened, anxiously running over. "Sister Stone." Hearing me call her, she raised her head, her eyes clear. "Jack, you've come." I panted. "What are you doing here? Do you know I was worried to death?" She smiled faintly. "I went into the mountains to find a kind of grass. The villagers said this kind of grass will sprout in the snow. Even in harsh environments, it still tenaciously survives. Very much like you." I paused, then chuckled. "Did you find it?" She opened her palm, and it was a tiny seedling with a bit of blood. I frowned. "You're injured?" She didn't care. "It's okay, just a small scratch." I looked at the seedling, suddenly said, "Put it back. If the snow melts, it won't be able to survive. Don't take it away." She pondered for a moment, then gently put it back into the soil. The wind and snow were about to come. I reached out to her. "Let's go, Sister Stone. Come home with me." She took my hand, held it tightly. On the way back, we didn't let go of hands. I said, "Tomorrow there will be Golden Summit sunrise. Do you want to see it?" Golden Summit sunrise, the phenomenon of sunlight shining on the snow-covered mountain peak, making it sparkle like gold. She smiled. "Want to? I'll come to your room to wake you up." "No need," I absent-mindedly replied. "Just stay in the middle room to watch." She paused, then reacted, her eyes bright like a child who just received candy. She was so happy she almost jumped up. Luckily, no colleagues witnessed this. But this undignified appearance was exactly like the naive girl of the past. We returned to the homestay, told colleagues that Mia Stone had been found. Everyone gradually went to sleep. As soon as the room door closed, she tiptoed and kissed my lips. Her breath carried the chill of snow wind. That night after you finished the college entrance exam, I already wanted to do this. She chuckled softly, the corners of her eyes slightly red. Jack, give me one night as a reward, okay? Of course, the next morning we didn't see the Golden Summit sunrise, but it didn't matter. There would be many times in the future. When the project in the Northwest was launched, Mia Stone and I got married. The wedding was not grand. I liked simplicity, and she respected my decision. But in the wedding, Mia Stone cried even more than me. She choked and said, "I finally have a family." I gently hugged her. Me too. Two lonely souls, after so many years circling in the flow of time, finally found their way back to each other. The second day after the wedding, when I woke up, the side was empty and cold. I was just about to get up to look for her when I saw a familiar figure in the kitchen. The cold and arrogant CEO was now wearing an apron, standing in the kitchen cooking. There weren't many ingredients left in the house, just enough to make 2 bowls of egg noodles. In the past, my favorite was egg noodles cooked by my mother, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't make my mother's flavor. Only Mia Stone had learned the secret from my mother. Steam rose, simple yet warm aroma filled the kitchen. I suddenly missed my mother very much. She was the one who gave me all the love and shelter in those hardest years. She didn't have a proper education, but always told me to study hard. She had never eaten her fill, but ran around everywhere to borrow books and school supplies for me. Her love was the motivation that helped me get to today. Mom, now I have a home, a career. Can you see? The heat made my eyes water. From behind, Mia Stone gently hugged me. She softly said, "Jack, from now on, I am your family." What is family? Not a luxurious villa, not an expensive car, but when 2 people are together from dawn till dusk, quietly watching the kitchen smoke rising in the ordinary days. Yeah,